Okay, I think they wanted to see a reimbursement.
Okay.
Let's actually pick an employee that we're going to reimburse.
Okay.
Just for fun.
Who wants to be reimbursed?
Danny does.
Of course.
So we're just going to create an expense receipt just like normal. We know that you're in here, Danny.
Okay, hang on.
Oh, well, we thought
Get
you
back.
Yeah.
Okay, you have the vendor selected. So watch this. It's just a small little switch. But guess what?
Client.
No, he's actually
Who is
employee
He's an employee?
Yep.
Okay.
of this particular corporation. Awesome, there he is.
So then, what's also cool here is when you search a vendor, an employee, a customer, whatever you search, you can also look at their recent activity. If you click on recent activity, you can put all instead of, you can do 90 days, 365, whatever. You can hit all because this will go back to whenever you're using Adilas. It'll show you anything we ever did with Danny. So
Looks like I paid him $500 at one point.
already, so we're going to back up. We're going to back up and create a receipt. So we're going to say today, and how much are we paying you, Danny? How much do we
So
owe
this
you?
is something you spent
did you
your
buy?
money and we owe you back.
So obviously you have to give me a receipt, though. Do you have a receipt? If you don't have a receipt, I can't pay
It's not
you.
coming.
Hey, you know what? We'll scan it in. We'll scan it in. We'll put it in.
It's actually, it's not even mine. The
How much do I
Wells Fargo
owe you?
bank, It's available balance, actually.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
use it.
Use it. What do I owe you, Danny?
Just tell us something about
$100? It's not bad. Okay, so I would put in, today I'm paying you, and this is the amount, and I just am a note person, so I'm going to say, even though we know it's going to mark as a reimbursement for
Gas.
office supply.
Oh.
Gas?
Yeah.
We'll do gas. Okay, and then right here, again, this is the need reimbursement. And right here it will tell you, only check this if whatever it is in this specific receipt was paid by non-corporate funds. So that's anything that was paid by anyone or any other card or sometimes business owners have their personal card too, and they'll charge it. And then as a bookkeeper or whatever, you're looking through the receipts, you're like, that's not our credit card. Well, obviously they bought something, so you need to reimburse whoever owns that card. So you're just going to click the reimbursement one because it wasn't for the corporation. We're going to say this was for gas, which we don't have here.
So look how she's
So how do you
automatic.
find it? That was one of my questions. Where
It's
do you
just
find
the
that?
expense type drop down.
I know, but I mean, I want to see gas in there, so I'm
Okay.
You want it in there now?
Guess
Okay.
what? She purposely is like, you know what? I'm going to put it under I don't know, and I'm going to circle back around because just in this particular flow, you wouldn't want to necessarily do that right there.
Yeah, you can't do it while you're in the middle of a receipt. If I create this receipt and then I go back and do it, then you can do it. Right now, it's not giving you any opportunity to add a category.
It's kind of fun. You're in speed mode right now. We're in ad mode. Bam, 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 bam. Like if we wanted to stop right this second, watch this. Here's another way you could do it. You're like, I needed gas. It's not in there. You could go up to the very tippy top of the page. Like, hang on, before you actually
Oops, you don't have a cash drawer. Before I do anything,
so just go home. Just go home. What we're going to do is we're going to bail out midstream. We actually never even submitted that one to Danny. We're like, God, I need to do a new thing. Okay, so we would go edit expense types. Boom. Come up here, find fuel. And gas.
Wait, what did you go to? Expense homepage?
went to system maintenance.
Edit expense types. This is a permission.
Edit expense types, okay.
It's available right from the expense receipt homepage as a link from there.
Okay.
You have that permission.
Professionally speaking, I would recommend just creating expense receipts if you don't have some. Ideally, you want to get in there and fix your categories and your expense types and have them there.
I don't like
But-
circling back around.
But you're gonna run into ones that you have to do on the fly. I would just punch out that expense receipt,
Okay.
go back and change it in that expense
Okay,
receipt,
that's
because
all
then you're
I
like, wait, where was it? System maintenance and stuff,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I would say, just to make it easier. But we're gonna go ahead and add it, and then we're gonna say gas, and we're gonna say expense. Fuel, gas. Just say
And what if it isn't in that list, Brandon?
No problem. There's a little link at the top that says Manage Account Groupings. You see on the top right-hand corner?
Okay.
Okay, you can actually tweak that thing so that, like, check it out. You can
These are your
build
current
whatever you
categories.
darn well want.
All right, good deal.
what's in there.
Probably like a heavy
It's probably me, I'm sorry. That is a heavy vibrator. Okay, I'm just going to back up a couple times. In all honesty, I don't know if it's even going to be there right now.
You'd have to hit refresh, which would kind of lose some of those
So I'm
values.
just going to do what I was saying and just put it in real fast. And I'm just making up numbers. They're probably in no sequence. Again, I just
Okay,
always copy
so
and
hang on
paste.
just 1 second. If you did a reimbursement, we do not want to say that it came from the First West Bank. We want to say no
wanna
bank
say-
assigned.
Wait a minute. That's right.
Okay, so right
I'm
here.
like, did I even put Danny? It's always to the person that paid it, not the card or the.
Okay, so technically he could have paid his check, his card, his whatever, but I don't want it to come out of my bank. Okay, not yet, not yet. So that's why I would say no bank assigned, even though he physically paid for it and all this kind of stuff. Like, even if it's the same bank, it's not my bank account inside of Adilas. Okay, so that's why I was like, oh, well, let's put a no bank assigned. Okay, so I know that created some questions. What is the question on that?
Well, I guess I'm kind of lost now. So this is me. I paid for something, and now you're paying me back, right?
Okay,
Oops, I'm sorry. I'm confusing you because it was credit. You paid with the credit card. That's what's confusing you. Sorry. I'll put debit.
Okay.
You paid with the credit card. Yeah, this is what you did. This is the expense because you did that.
This is what I did. Okay.
This is what you did. So now I'm going to come in here and change it.
she's
That's what
just
was
assigning him a
confusing.
type now.
Now I'm putting the gas. So now we have it. We owe you $100. You paid with some type of card. If you paid with cash, I'd put cash, but we just won't assign anything.
So the important piece there is we said no bank assigned because I don't want this to come out of my bank account yet. I still owe Danny. Okay, he paid for it. It was his funds. And then when I finally go to pay you off, then I'll pull it out of my bank account.
So now you can either go home to your payables homepage or just click it in your expense receipt because now you want to know who you owe. So now if you notice, it's going to be a little different. These are businesses and individuals here, but it's also going to be different here. This is your REIs, reimbursements. So this is what we owe Danny. So now you just click on the reimbursement because it's not like a bill of some sort up here. It's not a PO right here. We owe you for a reimbursement. If you click on that, there's your reimbursement. So today I'm going to pay you. And I'm going to click on it and I'm going to hit pay. And today I'm going to pay you the $100. It's going to already tell me where it came from. Now this is where I say I'm paying you with my check from my bank.
From my bank. See how it's a difference between switching banks there?
And this is just a straight reimbursement. This is going to be, I think I just picked yours. You know, it gets real detailed.
You're creating a reimbursement, it's another type of expense.
Okay,
And then when you
correct.
actually pay them, it's a payment of the reimbursement.
Yeah,
Correct,
it's a
correct.
whole, I'm going to view it now, created a new one. This is a whole new expense receipt
God, that's such a nice trail too. Then.
But
that's associated with number 8.
so we just had one, but you see up there where it says 100 amount, 100 and it says subs? Like what if Danny actually had paid. We owed him like
Yeah.
$500 and it was from 20 different expenses, okay?
supplies.
So I cut him one check, which basically says, hey, I'm just paying off some pieces that are already attributed, all the places that they need. We're going to satisfy that. Here's $500. Danny walks out the door with one check, but we've just satisfied all of those little subs. Once again, almost to the level of that car carrier, okay? So each little car was an expense receipt that Danny said, I need a reimbursement, I need a reimbursement. When we pay it all off, we say, cool, we're going to bring in a truck, and we're going to load up all of Danny's stuff that we're going to physically pay off. We're going to put one payment on that. That's how we run that on a reimbursement.
I did see in the dark print at the bottom, it said the receipt must accompany this report. You guys
I have to avoid that
Sweet
now.
talk my way out of that.
But yeah, I mean, you know, for anybody that is trying to clean up anything, and you know that you have expenses in your system, but you just don't know where they go. They could go to, depending on your industry or what you do, they could go to a PO, they could go to a bill, they could, all these things that you owe. And you know you did it, but you did it on the fly, or you did it, or you're catching up. Always work out of your payables. That's what I say. Because then plus it makes you feel accomplished. Because then you're sitting there, you pay that, look, Danny's gone. You know?
Yeah.
Like you're always looking at your payables. And when your payables are like this, it's rare that you see payables this small for me. but you know, it makes you happy. You'll just start cleaning up. Just like you're going to have all them expense receipts in there that you're going to want to start working with. They're probably in your payables.
So we're a monster at first.
Yeah,
You know, it
but
might
you
feel
know,
intimidating, but you just kind of start working it through, and like just what she's saying, like, oh, I feel so accomplished because I just cleaned this up. All we did is we paid off Danny. It's gone, but technically all those pieces are still there. It's like, look, that's no
It
longer
ties it
part
all
of
up.
your.
just like with you, Shannon, when you start working on them, doing the credit card statements, I know it's intimidating. It'll have one line that says your credit card vendor, whoever they are, Wells Fargo, and you'll have some big $50,000 amount or whatever. Well, you click on that amount, and it's going to do just like it does here. It's going to pull them all up. And you're just going to look for those amounts and click them all and pay it. Cut one expense. Go to your next statement, click them all, pay it. Like, seriously, it's not going to be as hard as you think. You're going to be like, wow, I already did it. It's going to be easy for you to go back and reconcile your credit card statements because you've already done the hard work. You put all of them in there. Well, hopefully. Oh, you haven't put them in there yet? You got frustrated? It'll be easy because you could even do it that way. You could say, look at the statement and then look and say, okay, on this bill I know I paid $250, so I'm going to take those. I'm going to put those expense receipts in. Okay, now I'm going to go to my payables. I'm going to click it and I'm just going to pay them. That's done. Now I'm going to go next. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Instead of, or you could take your whole stack of your credit card charges, put them all in, and then go here and click them too. Either way, it's not going to be that difficult. I mean, and then from now on, you're going to know exactly how to do it. So, and I apologize for whoever told you that, you know, it had to be one way because it really is preference from your accounting ways and stuff. It's just how you want. I've had clients where you put every single credit card receipt in, Home Depot, 7-Eleven, whoever, and then in the back end, you make it work with your Amex card and your charges, or you know what I'm saying? But I recommend the way that he said, and by doing it how you were going to do it, by putting the card name and you're paying the card, because then you just cut the check to him. So I don't know, was there something else I was supposed to show?
You're doing awesome. Does anybody have any questions? That's our. Oh, awesome. Let's talk expenses for just a quick second, and then we'll circle right back to another question you have. Anybody have any questions on expenses? Expenses can get pretty deep. Of all of the pieces, expenses potentially have the most depth of what's going on because it has the availability to do, like we were talking about, that car carrier, where other expenses can technically solve and or satisfy other sub pieces. Okay. Any questions on expenses?